Hey everyone, and welcome to my third video for my 30-day challenge on tips on how to work and live and travel anywhere in the world. And today I'm going to talk about how to find the cheapest tickets. I'm going to give you 5 tips that hopefully will work for you to find your ticket to your next trip. If you didn't watch my video yesterday, I recommend you do, because one of the most important things is that you need to have an idea already of what your journey is going to look like. Because nowadays it's cheaper to buy multi-destination tickets than to buy round-trip tickets. So if you already know what destinations you're going to, you'll be able to quote cheaper tickets. So that's my first advice. Try to plan your journey. Try to plan 3 destinations ahead so you can quote for multi-destination tickets, which are usually cheaper than one-way or round-trip tickets for most of the times. My second tip is where to quote, right? So nowadays there's tons of platforms online to quote cheap tickets, and they're very, very easy to use. Agents usually don't exist anymore. They charge crazy commissions. They're really not worth it. So make sure you learn about these platforms, and I'm gonna show you, talk about some of them with you. But the main important thing is also how to do it. So I usually quote using my phone or an iPad or another computer, and I buy with another computer. Why? Because these platforms memorize your IP, which means that if you come back to this platform to finally buy the ticket might go up in price. So yeah, of course, they're really smart. They want to, at the end of the day, they want more money. So make sure you quote with your phone or an iPad, or you borrow someone's computer. Once you know what ticket you want to buy, you buy it with another computer. Another tip about quoting is make sure you do it in random hours where there's less traffic. For example, sometimes I search for tickets at 2 a.m. in the morning. I know it sounds super weird, but I do. And it's usually cheaper than if I go back the next day and search at 9 a.m. So, and that's another really good tip about quoting. Now, where to quote? My favorite site to quote for tickets right now is Google Flights. It's flights.google.com. It's really, really simple. They redirect you to the best flight and price, and you can search for the whole month and see what price is better. You can do multi-destinations, etc. Then right after Google, I usually use Skyscanner, Kiwi, and Kayak. They're very, very similar. And for example, for those of you that are super flexible and that you don't have a clear idea of where you're going or what times, these are really good platforms because they let you search to anywhere in the world. So for example, I'm in Medellin right now. I could search for a flight anywhere and they'll pull up the best and cheapest flight. And also prices throughout the month, so you can select your date. So that's also a really good source. Those 2 platforms are really good to find affordable tickets. And last, nowadays there's new platforms coming up that I really like Airffordable is a new one, in which if you don't have the money right now to buy a ticket, but you know you're traveling by April and you'll have the money by April, Airffordable lets you do a down payment for your ticket. They buy it for you and then you pay it in small amounts before the day of the trip. So it's really, really cool. It's called Airffordable. It's a new platform and it's great because they're giving loans on tickets. How cool is that? And then last, about buying tickets online, is that a lot of these platforms usually don't show airlines that are very cheap. Example, Viva Colombia doesn't really appear on any of these platforms. So I'm going to give you some tips of what are the best cheap airlines per region that I've used. And let's start with Europe, which is like the mecca of cheap airlines. In Europe, I recommend for internal flights within Europe, Ryanair and Easyjet. They're the cheapest and the best. And then I am in love with these 2 new airlines called Wow Air, which is an airline from Iceland, and they're flying from North America to Europe. I got a flight from New York to Paris with a stop in Iceland for $200. And then the other one that I really recommend that I recently just used is Norwegian Airlines. They're incredible. They also fly from the US or from North America to Europe and from Singapore to Europe. So I took a flight from Singapore to London for 214 euros, and it was a non-stop flight, perfect plane, Dreamliner, beautiful. And those are the European cheap airlines I recommend. In Latin America, I really recommend Wingo. Wingo is to fly between Colombia, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Panama. And they have, I think, Dominican Republic. They have a couple of destinations in Latin America. They're really affordable. They're good service, good quality. And I recommend Volaris. Volaris flies usually between Guatemala, Mexico, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras. So Central America, really cheap and pretty good. And the last one is Viva Colombia. They probably don't have the best quality ever, but they're really affordable, and you can buy tickets from Colombia to Miami, to Central America, to Ecuador, to Lima, etc. So I recommend those. In North America, I recommend Spirit Airlines and Jetblue. They're very well known, and usually they also have very affordable prices from Latin America to North America or within the US. And in Asia, I recommend Airasia, Jetstar, Scoot, and Tiger Air. I just got a ticket from Bali to Singapore for $20 with Airasia, and I've been quoting a ticket from Singapore to Australia, to Sydney and Melbourne, and it's $190, and to Melbourne $125 with Jetstar. So it's cheap airlines, they're good, but as good, I mean, they're not the best quality. They charge you for absolutely everything, so make sure you pack light and that you buy everything in advance, not in the counter, because that's where they make their money. And the last tip is miles. Miles are incredible. First of all, try to sign up to as many frequent flyers programs as you can. There's nothing wrong with that, and a lot of them give you welcome miles. So for example, I just signed up to Connect Miles, which is by Copa Airlines, and I got, I think, 2,000 miles for welcome, and it's pretty good. And then you can also sign up to credit cards with miles, and they usually give you from like 5,000 to, I've seen credit cards give you 30,000 miles. That gets you far away, and just for signing up, and then you can cancel it if you want, or you can use it and continue to accumulate miles. And then also make sure you sign up to newsletters of these mileage programs, because they usually sell miles, and if they're selling miles between 1 cent to 2 cents, is very, very worth it. I just bought 32,000 miles in Life Miles, which is Avianca, for $400, and that gets me pretty much, like, I could get with that to Europe. So those are my tips. Buy miles also, and that's probably the last one, and that is it for me. I hope this inspires you, and you go ahead and quote and buy your ticket to start your journey. Bye. And